Right then, ladies and gentlemen, let me just turn that off. Right, we are here for a bit of a different one tonight, ladies and gents. It is 5-lap races here in WRC, and we have about an hour to get these done. Bit of a different thing, but we're getting straight into the action, and it is Silverstone for the first round of 7. Slides out, and away we go. The 9 drivers here for the 5 lappers then. And F1 Mikey Boy then is leading into the first corner. Best Noah second place. Billy Mewis then running in third. It's Mattia in 5 with Zazapi now in 5 as Mattia up into third place. Billy Mewis the 2 second time penalty at the very start of the action here. Lots of kerfuffle then going on at the back of the grid here as there's somebody going round. Sidemen all the way down to P8 now from this race start, and he's now in the same position where he started. Chopper is down 5 since the start. We've got Billy Mewis then it down in 9, ladies and gentlemen. And well out of position from what we know him, really. But these 5-lap races are going to really give us some good action to watch. And Zazapi running in third place at the minute, then trying to make a move here on Best Noah. Round the outside line for him at the moment then. Is he going to make a pass here? The Ferrari of Zazapi on F1 Mikey Boy. Zazapi is through to P2. Lovely move then for that Ferrari as he does get through. I've just realised as well, JP. It is Jack in 5th position, then JP, the commentator, of course, running here with us in the racing pool tonight. He's got some drivers in front of him making some passes. Then we've got Jay in the chat doing a Siege tournament. Good to see you anyway, mate. Welcome in tonight. 5-lap races, 21 that doesn't know, and we have 7 of them. This is the first here in Silverstone, and I got the opportunity to choose the tracks. Look at this battle round the final corner. Zazapi now into the lead. Mattia now retires. Zazapi is going to try and hold it, but up the inside sends it Mikey Boy, who's trying to keep this position today, all on the soft compound tyres, running as light as a feather as well in the 5-lap races. On the second lap today, Zazapi finds P1 as F1 Mikey Boy then does lose that a little bit there, but he's going to try and fight back now. 50% battery, looking up the inside line here on the Ferrari. F1 Mikey Boy up the inside, and he flies through in the Racing Bull into the race leads. Zazapi 2 then, Best Noah running in 3rd in the Williams. MCL runs in 4, is JP in 5. P6 is Sidemen. P7, Billy Mewis. Chopper down in 8. Mattia down at the back and retired, ladies and gentlemen. As this battle up at the front is never ending, and F1 Mikey Boy still the man in front into the marker boards as Zazapi now might just get a chance of catching up on him on the backside. He was getting massively closer but dropped off a little bit. Mikey made a huge mistake, and now this is the Ferrari's time, getting massively close behind the Racing Bull. He finds the inside line. Here comes Zazapi for a move at the same time as Best Noah as well. It is round the outside for Best Noah. MCL up the inside, the man that finished 3rd yesterday in the Tuesday races. He's now back in 3rd place here at Silverstone then of WRC 5-lap races. Zazapi leads though across the line for the 3rd lap of the race. The fastest lap now goes to JP. Now Sidemen running down the order is the fastest lap as the Ferrari of Zazapi already half a second in front of F1 Mikey Boy. Only 3 laps in to these 5-lap races at the moment. And we've got still 6 more races after this, ladies and gentlemen. A long time to go. Only an hour of racing, though, and it should be around an hour. It shouldn't be much longer than that. But I am very much looking forward to be getting into this. And, of course, getting into some of the tracks later on. We are rounding off with Abu Dhabi. All of these tracks picked by me. As Sidemen up the inside line of JP. JP comes out better of that one, and Sidemen very nearly goes around. Catches the car in a spin there. But wow, just wow, some good action from the drivers up at the front then on lap 3 of 5. And it is Zazapi, your race leader in the Ferrari. He is driving a great race at this moment in time for the 5 lappers, and 3 laps in, he is the dominant force. But F1 Mikey Boy might just want to try and improve his pace here and try and make a move when it is possible, ladies and gentlemen. He's massively fell off though at the moment. MCL and the Alpine then on the backside here, trying to fight on the backside of the racing ball of F1 Mikey Boy. And this Alpine giving it everything he has with half battery in his car and holds the advantage over Mikey here. Oh, both of them actually have about the same. So both of them really on the same level playing field. Of course, equal performance as well. So the cars are the same. It's just the driver ability here and their way of saving the battery that they have and using it and deploying it as well. But we are 4 laps in of 5. Penultimate lap of the race already for the first one, and these are going to fly by. They really, really are. As we have Zazapi still your leader by 0.8 of a second. F1 Mikey Boy second place. MCL running in third then, and this is a great top 3 at the minute. MCL running very well in this 5-lap race at the minute. Of course, finished third yesterday in the race we had in Mexico for the 4th round of the season of Tuesday on season 2, and now he's finishing third again. There won't be any interviews for tonight or race intros or anything like that. This, of course, is a bit more for fun, but Zazapi is your leader, and at the minute setting himself up with a very good chance of, doing well in tonight's championship and possibly finishing as that P1 sitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the 5-lap races here in Silverstone is about to conclude. The last lap of the Grand Prix. And Zazapi leading by 0.8 of a second. It is looking more to the way of Zazapi at the minute. Doesn't look like he's going to be beaten at this current moment in time. Is F1 Mikey Boy able to get any closer than he already has been? It's now dropped between nearly a second. It is now between a second as MCL is running in third still, and it's 0.4 of a second that gap. The top 3 not looking like it is going to change here in Silverstone then with not much longer of this Grand Prix now. The final lap is here for the 5-lap race number 1. And what a race it has been for this one man, ladies and gentlemen, of Zazapi, who has driven brilliantly up at the front, and you cannot complain with his drive. As he heads down towards the final few corners here in Silverstone, we look behind. It is MCL trying to make a last lap pass here on F1 Mikey Boy. But towards the final few corners here, the Ferrari has dominated this race number 1 for the 5-lappers here in Silverstone. Zazapi is going to claim the first win of the night. He wins the British Grand Prix. F1 Mikey Boy for P2. MCL in third. Best Noah 4, 5 is JP. P6 Sideman. P7 Billy Mewis. And P8 is Chopper. That is the first out of 7. Well, the 5-lappers today in Silverstone was race 1. Next race is Austria, ladies and gentlemen. Very much shorter lap times. That'll be a bit of a quicker race than this one. Then we go to Hungary. Then we go to Monza. Then it's Japan. Then it's Brazil. And then we round off with Abu Dhabi. And a good point raised by F1 Mikey Boy. Billy in the mud, as Billy definitely had a position from this first race. Here you go then. This is your finishing results then as race winners. Zazapi, fastest lap sideman, driver of the day. Zazapi, his most overtakes MCL, and cleanest driver goes to Best Noah. Roll on the next session, ladies and gentlemen. These are good fun. I would love to return for next week. This is actually very good. Really enjoy this. Such a more relaxed, relaxed way of commentating. Of course, it's still commentating as normal, but it's so good because it's just so fast-paced. You get the start of the race, then comes the end of the race. Very fun. These are good. But, yeah, Benny Mewis finishing down in P7, not what he wants. Mackie in the chat, welcome in, my mate. It is good to see you, mate. It's been a while, but it is good to see you back in. You're always showing up now and then, aren't you? And it's good to see you, mate. Welcome in. F1 Mikey Boy here as well, and J2. The WRC Twitch is definitely growing, of course. They're affiliated now on Twitch as well. They have been for a little while, so of course the adverts will be on, but makes the league a bit of money, which is brilliant. But Ollie Southall, Billy's washed. Mate, Billy is washed. What is going on with Billy? Yesterday, really finished out of position, and today in the first 5-lapper, not the way you want it to go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the first one. Next race is Austria, and we're going to get straight into it now. As this could be a little bit over an hour, but should be okay. Didn't listen to my setup advice yesterday and ruined it all with listen to Pitwall. That's it, mate. That is it. But 1 out of 7 done. 6 more to go here for the 5-lappers. Really good fun these are at the moment. And the driver's ready up to get into the next race. I went to Ollie's house to try his setup and beat all the tracks. So I tried by 6/10 after a few laps. Now who's washed? Right then, second race, and it is Austria for this one, ladies and gentlemen. This will be a bit of a shorter one, of course. Lap times around 1 minute and 5 seconds, 1 minute and 4 possibly. It is around that racing laps, and only 5 racing laps here, so they're going to be running extremely low on the fuel, of course, and this should be a good one to get into. We'll soon to be on the grid then for the second race here at the Red Bull Ring. Shouldn't be too long now before we get on with it. And here we go then. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights for the second race of 7. It's lights out and away we go. And Zazapi off the line then pretty well, but he's got Sidemen already trying to fight him into turn 1. Here we go then. Up the inside goes the Red Bull here at the Red Bull Ring as Zazapi just about holds this one then. Leading the championship from round 1 in Silverstone, and now here today, here's the man leading this race up towards turn 3. It is Zazapi now ahead. Sidemen into second place, 3 abreast into the turn 3 as MCL now is getting in on the mix and could be second place at the minute, ladies and gentlemen. Zazapi still in front then. MCL in third as we have a disqualification at the start of the session. Up the inside line is going to go Sidemen here on the race leader trying to get ahead. There's no gap for him just there. MCL running in third at the minute. Billy Mewis 4. Lance Stroll as an AI for some reason here in 5 as JP running in 6 with F1 Mikey Boy fighting him up the inside line. Both RBs racing as hard as they can then here in Austria for the better position. It's now Best Noah, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to get through. JP gets up to P5 now through past Lance Stroll as F1 Mikey Boy in P7 is now going to try and fight the Aston Martin of Stroll. Can he go around the outside line? He does get past. And he is through past Lance Stroll today. Best Noah now 7. Stroll at the back of the grid in P8. JP is your P5 sitter as we head up towards the right-hand side, and you can see Sidemen and Zazapi going all out then in towards the first few corners. Sidemen just about ahead right now as Zazapi into second place. MCL now into P2 as this Alpine is giving it an absolutely brilliant run in towards the final few corners. Shadow plays now in the Jack Frosty Comms chat. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Welcome in. Good to see you in the chat tonight. Sidemen with a 2-second time penalty, but it is Sidemen as your race leader on the second lap of 5. MCL running in P2 right now. Zazapi running in third. There's Billy Mewis 4 then, who's in a much better position in this race at the moment and running a bit higher up than Silverstone. P2 for him at the moment and running to try and get a podium here. Zazapi in front of him by 0.3 of a second. This could be a move by Billy Mewis then on Zazapi in towards the first corner. Is the McLaren going to make a move here then in Austria? No, but he was getting closer. He was getting much closer now through the first corner. And Billy Mewis trying to catch Zazapi then. Looks for the inside line. Now making a very late move here, but not enough room for him to do it. He has to back out just a little bit there, and Billy Mewis, ladies and gentlemen, has to hold his position. Zazapi still running in third. He won now in Silverstone. He's down 2 places since starting on pole, and now he will lose some points from where he started. Sidemen today will be taking maximum on the third lap of 5. It is going his way massively at this moment in time for Sidemen as the drivers make their way round and to start the 4th lap of the race. Ladies and gents, Sidemen leading, MCL2 as we go down the grid at the very back. Then Lance Stroll making a move here on Best Noah. Round the outside line goes Stroll in the Aston Martin, but it is Best of Noah who just about holds that one. Zazapi now with a penalty of 2 seconds for multiple warnings. Track limits then must be pretty hard to keep on the track here at the Red Bull Ring, but Sidemen is your leader. He has got a penalty as well as Zazapi and Mikey Boy. Everybody else does not. And the close running order that we have right now, it's going to be MCL with a win. It'll be Billy Mewis P2 and F4 and maybe JP will be P3 at the moment. Mooking a move here, sorry, is MCL who gets into the lead of this Grand Prix. Sidemen down to second place now, and MCL is your race leader and race winner as it stands. As from P2 to P5, there's all penalties. And wow, that is not what you want to be seeing. Billy Mewis then in P6. JP just about gets ahead of that one, ladies and gentlemen. As here's JP then in the Racing Bull. Excellent commentator and seems to be a pretty decent driver as well then here in the Formula 1 games. Oh, a bit onto the gravel there, the grass, the curb might I add. Onto the curb and he gets a 2-second time penalty. Here we go then, round the final corner. Jace, a Stroll guarantee at least P5 as it stands. Mate, Stroll should have finished brilliantly. MCL with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the final lap of this sprint race. It is a 5-lap race, of course. And the final lap is here. F1 Mikey Boy with a 2-second time penalty. Yet again, another one. Here's Sidemen then for a move on the race leader. Trying to make a move with the inside line. Is this going to be a pass? The Red Bull fighting the Alpine here. Then coming out of the right-hand side and all the way down in towards the right-hand side, right-hand corner. Is Sidemen going to be the race leader again? He is, but he has got a time penalty, which is going to really throw a spanner in the works. MCL P2. F1 Mikey Boy fighting Zazapi here. Into P3 as Zazapi just about holds the podium place. F1 Mikey Boy trying to get ahead here in P4 as JP just flies through then everybody and gets ahead. Mikey down in 5 and loses out of position. Here we go then, the 5th lap as we go round the final corner with Sidemen, who's going to cross the line here in the second race out of 7 for the 5-lap races. The Sidemen in the Red Bull wins the Austrian Grand Prix, only provisionally then as penalties, and it's MCL as your winner. Drew in the chat, what is this? This is 5-lap races. We're doing 5-lap races in WRC, but we're doing 7 for about an hour. And we have been on, this is the second one, going on to the 3rd out of 7 now. Stroll on the podium, says Mikey. How has that even happened? MCL then is your winner, takes the fastest lap and is the cleanest driver. Driver of the day goes to JP and most overtakes is Mikey Boy. Lance Stroll taking 2nd place. The penalties screwed everybody over there, didn't they? But that is it for your second race. The next race is going to be Hungary. That is going to be your next one. Do I have comms Thursday, just Drew? I'm not sure. The guy hasn't. He said he'll message me when he knows when the season's starting. So I don't think you've got comms this Thursday. But when I'm going to check when the season starts and let you know. I'll have a look if he's messaged anything in the chats. Hang on a minute. I'll see if he's put anything. Right, Drew. So they've put sign-ups out for this week to see how many people they're going to get. And let's have a look. Season opener. There's 4 people that are racing. So at the minute, I don't think you're going to be commentating, to be fair, because I don't think they're going to race with 4. It's not very good. Ollie Southall told you today, Mike. You clearly, Billy, I was never good to be washed for us. You bottled it. Right then, ladies and gents. Next, we're going to go into Hungary. The Hungaroring as the drivers are starting to build up. Drew, I think anybody can join. Yeah, loads of people are joining now. So if you want to get in some 5-lap races, you're more than welcome to join. I'm pretty sure this is open to anybody. But a lot of the drivers are WRC drivers, but there's a few others. Drop an invite, no problem. You're going to have to stream like right after this. No, I should be alright because we started about 20 minutes ago. So there should be about 40 minutes left. I think we're all good. Because I start at 8:30 for next commentary. But everybody, the second round and the points at the minute. MCL leading the championship from Zazapi. Then from JP, who is quite a consistent driver we are starting to see. But it is the Hungaroring now then, ladies and gents. JP in the WRC chat. Hello, mate. Welcome in. I'm normally used to dealing with you for commentary, but it's good to see you racing. It is. You're pretty good, you know. You're pretty good. Quite consistent, if I must say so myself. But nice to see you, mate. Good change. I know, right? Definitely a good change. Great to see JP racing in WRC. Will be you next, Jack. Mate, I would love to. And let's be honest, the way the league's going with the amount of tiers that are opening up, the chance of me racing is pretty high. I think I'm probably going to end up racing at some point because there's a lot of tiers starting in WRC now. So when when there's a day that suits me pretty well, should be all right. No longer screaming my lungs out. Yeah. You need a day off. You do need a day off. But this should be a good one here in Hungary then. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 lights ahead of the drivers here in the Hungaroring. Hungary, it is Danny on pole. And it's lights out and away we go. I've no idea how I'm saying that. Spaghetti Mafia there. And in the Mercedes is your leader now. Danny into turn 1. Drops down to P2. F1 Mikey Boy 3. Billy Mewis then running in 4. Now fighting with F1 Mikey Boy. The WRC boys in the mid-pack. Then they're going all out here in Hungary. Through the first corner we go. And it is absolutely carnage in the middle of the pack as the drivers are giving it absolutely everything on the start of this race, ladies and gentlemen. And it is Spaghetti Mafia, your leader. Danny, second place. F1 Mikey Boy 3. Billy 4. Best Noah 5. MCL looks for the inside line here as it is Tebron into P6. Past as a Zappy P7. Sidemen gets spun around in 8 then as Oliver Behrman spins him around. He goes up to 8 then. Lance Stroll 9. It is JP 10, MCL 11 and Sidemen at the back of the grid now, everybody, in P12 in the chat. Jack, out of everyone you've ever commentated, who would you say is the fastest? For me, it's got to be Lee Dog. Lee Dog is rapid. I'm sure some people know about him. He also won the Christmas race. He's very fast. Honestly, I've never seen anybody quicker in this kind of league racing that we do. But round the final corner then to start this second lap, and it's Spaghetti Mafia then your leader as he now takes the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Danny now up the inside tries to get into the race lead, and he's absolutely done that today. The McLaren just about in front as Spaghetti trying to hold this off now underneath the Louis Vuitton signage and into the left-hand side. Behind there's F1 Mikey Boy getting a bit eager, nearly spinning the car around and catching it as the Mercedes Mikey's up there as well. The back end sliding off. Now that causes a domino effect as he now comes off the circuit, and Mikey is now in with a pass, ladies and gentlemen. Is Mikey going to get past here? He's giving it his go as there's a McLaren of Danny off the track, as I think Danny sends us a follow as well on the chat in the Twitch. Thank you very much, mate. F1 Mikey boy is now your race leader. Billy Mewis, P2. Spaghetti Mafia, 3. Best Noah, 4. Danny, 5. Stroll in 6. Zazapi, 7. JP in 8. MCL, 9. Tuberin in 10. Oliver Behrman, 11. And Sidemen down in P12. Ollie Southall, what days do you want? Ooh. I commentate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. My only available days for stuff like that is Saturday and Sunday, to be fair. As Zazapi looking up the inside line here to try and make a pass. Les and gents, and the Ferrari getting ever closer to this Williams. They're fighting down in towards the first corner now, down the main straight. Then is this going to be a move with Zazapi also on the race lead as well? F1 Mikey boy gets into P. Whoa, off the track here. Zazapi into the barrier as there's an Aston Martin of Lance Stroll off the track as well. Oliver Behrman goes into P9, makes a move up, but up at the front today then, Mikey boy is your race leader, ladies and gentlemen. Billy Mewis, P2. It is Best Noah in 3. That is your top 3 then in the 5-lap championship. We have got at the minute 9 people in the Jack Crossley Comms chat. It's jumped up from the one we had earlier on, which is quite nice. As Spaghetti Mafia has retired from the session, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 3 of 5 on the 3rd race out of 7 that we have here today. And the Racing Bull of F1 Mikey boy is your leader. Billy Mewis, all of a sudden, is getting back up at the top. And we haven't seen him perform well recently. But this race, he's definitely performing better. Out of the race now is Sidemen, Zazapi and Spaghetti Mafia. And 9 drivers remain here today. Mikey boy leads, heading around the final corner to start the 4th lap of 5. The penultimate lap of the Grand Prix here at the Hungaroring Ring. And it is Billy Mewis fighting for that win, which he could really do with here to boost the points up. He hasn't done well in the first 2 races. This could be a bit of a comeback for him if he makes a move here on F1 Mikey boy. Lap 4 of 5 and we head into the first corner. Mikey's still your race leader. Down below here, we just had a bit of a move with somebody here. I'm not entirely sure who that was. But up at the front, the gap is about 2, nearly 3/10 of a second now as Mikey still leads this Grand Prix. And we've got 1 lap after this one before we round off round 3. As here we go then, everybody. The final lap is about to commence and Mikey is your leader. 4/10 of a second is the gap. Billy Mewis down in P2. We head round the final corner to start lap 5 of this Grand Prix. The 3rd lap out of the 3rd race out of 7. And the championship is looking good at the moment. F1 Mikey boy might be doing the best out of everybody in the championship possibly here. I'm not entirely sure, but Zazapi's out, who was leading the championship for a bit. But MCL currently does lead the championship after this race. That is all going to change, I believe. F1 Mikey boy is still in front. Billy now 2nd place. It is the Alpine in P2. Behind that is Best Noah. And we're going to head into the middle sector, which can get quite tight and technical here to keep the car on the track, and as much as the area around is much wider to actually keep the car central and on the track, and of course to maximise the corner exits and entries you have to be on the ball. And this is the final lap now then, when the drivers are going to deploy every last bit of battery that they have. Mikey barely has any left in comparison to Billy. He has none either. Everybody running extremely low on battery. Nobody has any. And this is it then, ladies and gentlemen, for the third round out of 7 on tonight's one-off 5-lap championship races. We are half an hour in, and F1 Mikey Boy around the final corner is going to cross the line in the Racing Bull and takes the win here in Hungary for the third round out of 7. Billy second place, and Noah over the line for a podium spot today in third. JP over the line in 4. And JP in 4, you know, he's been consistent with it all the way along. I really think he's going to do well in the championship. Hungarian Masterclass. Absolutely right, Mikey. What a win. Here we go then. Race winner, Mikey. Fastest lap, Noah. Driver of the day is JP. Most overtakes is Lance Stroll. And it is Tibran as the cleanest driver. Right then, ladies and gentlemen. Third race out of 7 is done. On to the 4th. Well, that is the third race. Next, we're going to check where we're going next. I actually have forgot, even though I chose. We are going to Monza, which is another short track, actually, in Monza. And that should be quite fun. 5 laps of Monza, then we have 5 laps of Japan, then Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi to round off these 5-lappers. I've got a thing with Abu Dhabi, I really have. The last race always has to be Abu Dhabi for me. It's so good for a last race. You know, and I think like for the Christmas race as well, what a great venue to host the Christmas race. It was good. Picking all the short tracks today, mate, I did not do that on purpose. These are the best tracks, in my opinion. These are really good. I also got told not to pick any street circuits. There was a few on there I would have gone for. I would have said Las Vegas as a street circuit, to be fair. That's pretty fun. Singapore as well. But no street circuits, we got told. What's the race? What's the next race? Easter. What's the next race event? Easter. Yeah, it's the Easter race, mate. It is planned for the 11th of April, but that is after Easter, so I might actually bring it back to the end of March, which then won't be far away from now. Then it gives us like nearly 2 months to prepare for it. So I've asked this many times. There's a lot of people in the chat tonight in both stuff. We've got the JCC events Easter special coming up around end of March to the start of April. That'll be on a Saturday night. It is brilliant. £10 race entry, and you can win the most prize of £100 as the race winner. £50 second place, 25 for third. So something you might want to get involved in. If you send your picture in to me, I'll get your picture put in on the race intros and stuff like that. So it is good fun. Got kicked, didn't have a good enough license to play. Oh, fair enough. On the grid then, the 4th round of this 7-race championship. 5 lights here in Monza. It's lights out and away we go. And it is Danny in P1 then. Of course, Leeboy has been kicked, so he's going to fall down to the back of the grid now. Side men into P2. In towards the first corner here in Monza is the Red Bull. Going to make a move here on Billy Mewis. They're going side by side. Danny leads them through the first corner. Best Noah has spun around at the back of the grid today. Danny is your P1 sitter. Billy Mewis now runs in P2. Side men in 3. It is JP running in 4. F1 Mikey Boy 5 then, making their way through. Off the track, there's somebody massively off, and there's carnage at the back here with the drivers. JP now running in 3rd place, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. Consistency strikes again, now on the podium for the Racing Bull. Each race getting better and better and getting warmed up into the action as Mikey Boy then running in P4 at the minute in the Racing Bull. It is lap 1 of 5 and it is Danny F31 in the McLaren as your race leader. We head round then to round off this first lap and go on to lap 2. And after this, oh, look at that at the back. What is going on there? It is Stroll and Sidemen giving it everything up towards the Parabolica. The Sidemen will get out ahead of Stroll here, and Stroll loses out on a few places, unfortunately for him. It is Sidemen in P8 then. Noah down to P10 as the drivers fly past him. The Red Bull of Sidemen in P8 then is ahead. Official DTV in 9 as he's going to try and make a move in towards turn. What is going on there? The Red Bull flying through. Sidemen now your leader with a 10-second time penalty, but he will definitely... I don't know what's going to be going on with him, to be fair, but he will definitely not be getting that win with a penalty that large. You're making lobby tonight? Yeah, I will be. As Sidemen gets disqualified from the session for corner cutting after gaining 6 places, ladies and gents. So he is disqualified today. Danny now your leader once again. Billy Mewis back into 2nd place and JP in 3rd at this moment in time. The battle hasn't ended yet, and Billy Mewis here for a move. Billy into the race lead for the first time today, ladies and gentlemen. He is your race leader. But it's still going at it, and Danny now up the inside tries to get ahead of the Alpine of Billy Mewis. Danny into P1, Billy in 2. JP running in 3rd position right now in the Racing Bull as he now tries to make a move on Billy Mewis in front. Billy Mewis just about ahead still. Danny in P2 as we head into the first corner, and it is side by side as JP is right on the gearbox here of Danny, and F1 Mikey Boy really is close as well. As we're around the outside line, was that a contact there? I think it was contact. F1 Mikey Boy into 3. JP falls down the order in P6 then, unfortunately. And that is JP down countless positions today. Lance Stroll at the back of the grid as Billy Mewis at the very front of it. And the Alpine is doing well. He actually did very well last race. And now today, he's doing well again, ladies and gents. Billy Mewis is your race leader. Danny in 2. The championship is now going to start to get very, very tight as we head into the final corner here of the Parabolica and start the penultimate lap of the 5-lap races. As F1 Mikey Boy right on the rear of the McLaren then. Somebody making a move here, and it was Tebron up the inside of Pep, who is now trying to make this position work, and they're going side by side. The Red Bull against the Williams. Pep just about into P10 here. Is he going to hold the position? He might just do so as the Williams a little bit further behind here, and unfortunately not there to make that pass, ladies and gentlemen. As Billy Muir is still your leader, and we are soon to round off this lap 4 of 5 then here in Monza with the drivers as Billy 1, Danny in P2, Best Noah and Official DTV once again are fighting down in P8 and 9. And back up the top as well, it's MCL and Zazappi having a bit of a scrap here. They're still going at it, and Zazappi here making a move on MCL. Zazappi into P4 this evening. Up the inside, MCL tries it again into the Parabolica. He wants this position very badly indeed. And now the final lap of the Grand Prix does begin for the drivers. F1 Mikey Boy is spun around, and look at the time he has lost. That is going to really damage his championship. Into turn one, Danny now is your leader after using a bit of ERS probably to help him there, but he has got a hell of a lot more than Billy Mewis, and Danny being able to hold it then from Billy at this moment in time, going in the way of the McLaren at the minute, who's been able to save much more battery than Billy behind. Now the final lap of the fourth race of 7 that we have here in WRC tonight for the 5-lap races, ladies and gentlemen. Danny, your leader, and he will win this one tonight if it still goes his way. He is ahead, but Billy Mewis 7/10 behind, and with a penalty, I think Danny's going to take this one very easily indeed. Up in towards the parabolica we go with the McLaren, who has been nice and conserved on the back end of Billy all race long, saved up lots of battery, and for the first time today, he takes the win here in Monza for round 4 of the 5-lap championships. Danny wins ahead of the drivers and beats them all fair and square. Billy Mewis on the podium in P2. MCL once again on the podium now, finishing in 3rd. Mikey 4 after a great recovery there. Leeboy QAV in 5. Best Noah 6. JP 7. Pep 8. Stroll 9. Zazapi in 10. I spun on the line thinking it was the last lap. Oh, mate. As Zazapi finishes P10 then here tonight. And that is 4 races down out of 7. Next race, round 5. And round 5 is Japan. Danny, your winner tonight. Billy 2, MCL 3. The championship is going to start spicing up a little bit now, ladies and gentlemen, then. And this should be quite exciting to have a look when we get back. Please can everyone drive with their brain and not their nether region. You seen the order of the race next Tuesday? Yeah, I have, mate. Yeah, we've got a bit of a different one, haven't we? With the reverse championship order sprint and a feature race with I actually forgot what you call it now, but with the rainbow tyres and stuff like that, I forgot what you call wildcards. There you go. But Japan next then. We should be getting straight into this. Yuki Tsunoda here for Japan, and then Max Verstappen all changing around. Championship then, led by MCL. Fair play to that man at the minute. It is Mikey, P2 in the championship. Billy Mewis, 3. Best Noah, 4. JP, 5. P6, Zazapi. P7, Danny. 8 is apparently no one. 9, Sidemen. 13 is Pep. And 14 is Tebron. I'm not no clue why we're missing numbers there. Chanaman in the chat. Long time I've seen that name. Here we are then. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the next race of the evening. Here for the Japanese Grand Prix. And we are 5 races in now, aren't we? Yeah, 5 races, ladies and gents, into this one today. The World Championship being led by MCL. Here we go then. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights ahead of the drivers then for the 5th time of the evening. And it is lights out and away we go once again. JP starts from pole then, down into the first corner. Danny's going to try and contest this one then. He was doing very well and actually won the race, of course, in Monza, but it is JP who gets in front and holds that lead. Danny 2nd place. It is MCL then running in 3rd, who leads the championship at the minute. Carnage at the back then, as off the track goes many drivers there. 4 drivers off the circuit. It is Pep, Sidemen, Billy Mewis and Lance Stroll all off the track. JP leading by 2 tenths over Danny then, who's going to try and take this lead away from him into the right hand side. Danny taking a bit of a different line to him there, and didn't work out the way he wanted it to, but only 3/10 of a second the gap, and this is looking close then between P1 and P2 at the moment. Yellow flags then behind as Sidemen, I think, went off the track. Never mind, T-Brand went off the track, and that is why the yellow flags have come out. As Sidemen Pep and Billy Mewis all giving it a very nice battle at the minute. And off the track there goes Pep, losing time onto the gravel trap. Stroll now comes in P10 with Pep in front of him. And we head into the left-hand side, everybody, of 130R. These guys giving it absolutely everything. The Ferrari against the Racing Bull of F1 Mikey, who's going to head down in towards the first corner. Lap 2 of 5 begins, and JP is your leader with the fastest lap as well. The Ferrari of Zazappi looks to make a move here on F1 Mikey, but no gap for him to do so at the moment. Oh, yellow flags, and somebody's off again. It is T-Brand, possibly Pep, maybe it was, I think, off the track at the back of the grid. But JP's still in front. He's got Danny right on his gearbox at the minute. He's flashing red. Off the track goes JP with a bit of a mistake there. And now it is Danny who takes advantage. Round the outside line, tries Danny. JP about holding it here. He is ahead. MCL now is going to go for P2, but Danny just about got in front there with the help of the ERS to just edge his car along a little bit more and keep him in front, ladies and gentlemen. But JP is your leader. Danny is sat in P2 at the minute, and we're going to head down in towards 130R again. Is he going to make a pass then? Danny looks for the inside line here on JP. Braking action there for Danny, and he brakes earlier, allowing him to get through. JP loses a place, and Danny now leads on the 5th race of 7. Sidemen with a 3-second penalty and a 10-second as well. F1 Mikey Boy now has got Best Noah behind him, but MCL in front of that, as MCL does beat him to that position at the moment. F1 Mikey now trying to fight him back on the 3rd lap. Up the inside for Zazappi then is Best Noah trying to make a pass here on the Ferrari of Zazappi, who is looking to try and stay in front and isn't going to give up any positions, as Zazappi holding it at the minute. The championship leader is MCL, and I think the way it's going, he will still lead the championship. This is going to add to his tally out of everybody that was behind him. He's in a good position here, is MCL, to add some more nice points to his championship today. As lap 3 of 5 then, it'll be soon lap 4 on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix already, as Danny is your leader. If you are in either of the Jack Crusty comms or the WRC chats, Ladies and gentlemen, there is a bit of an offer going on, and it has been going on for a while. Amazon Prime, if you have a subscription, which a lot of people do have, you can get a free Twitch sub for any Twitch account of your choice. It helps all of us out a hell of a lot here on Twitch, and if you haven't done that already, you should definitely go along and sub to one of the channels. But lap 4 or 5 then, and we have a move here with Best Noah trying to get ahead of Zazapi, doing what he can to get a pass. Through goes the Ferrari of Sidemen into P6. The rear is sliding out a bit there for Zazapi, as Sidemen really trying to hold on to this then as much as possible. It's T Brown with a 2-second time penalty for corner cutting. And we have lap 4 of 5. It is T Brown who has retired from the session and left. And here's Sidemen then trying to get ahead of the Ferrari. Both Ferraris going at it then here in Japan. Then up the inside is Zazapi at this moment in time. Sidemen in P6 now, but he's going to try and fight back on his teammate, ladies and gentlemen. Is this going to be enough for a move here? Gaining into the left-hand side. Is he going to brake late to try and get in front? Then this Ferrari giving it absolutely everything he has to make a pass on his Ferrari teammate this evening. We're going to start lap 5 in a moment's time, but Zazapi holding on to this well in towards 130R. Is Sidemen going to make a pass here? Massively closer into the flying left-hander, and the rears slide out for him as off the track goes Best Noah. He saves it quite well though. And now the final lap of the race begins. Is that Danny in WRC? No, he isn't, mate, I don't think. But he's doing well. And JP still running in second place with a penalty though, so MCL currently will be second place at the end of this race. Get him in, Olital. I agree. I agree. He's a very good driver, is Danny. With Lance Stroll and Pepper giving it a good go then in towards turn 1. And the two Ferraris not really battling as much as they'd like to be anymore. The gap is about half a second now, and it has gained a bit larger. Off the track goes JP then, I think that was. MCL now into P2, and Mikey into 3. Look at this action here, then off the track there goes F1 Mikey Boy, was it? JP resets the track, so it was JP who resets the track. MCL P2, and on the final lap then Mikey now gets onto the podium places, the top 4 without any time penalties. The final lap of the Grand Prix, it is Danny leading then here on the fifth race of 7 for the 5-lap races. It is the McLaren of Danny F31 who needs to join WRC, because what a driver he is, really driving well is this man up at the front, and he's looking like he's going to take another win here today, ladies and gentlemen. I believe he won in Monza, and now he's going to win the Japanese Grand Prix for the 5th round of this season tonight. Danny P1, MCL P2, and F1 Mikey Boy over the line in 3. Zazapi 4, Best Noah 5, JP 6. Sidemen then will be P7. 8 is Sidemen. Pep will be 9. The Stroll at the back in P10. Right then, everybody, that is the 5th round of this little season tonight, and Danny wins again. Look at that, Danny wins. MCL then will be 2, F1 Mikey Boy will be 3, and bagging 15 points for himself. 25 go to Danny, and another 18 go to MCL. But it's been good fun so far. We are not done yet. We are 55 minutes into the stream. So this is going to run over, it's going to run a little bit over the hour. But we should not take much longer than that. We have 2 more races to go. One of them being Brazil and one of them being Abu Dhabi for the final race of the season. Here we go then. Brazil is next, and we are going to load into that in a moment. Everybody readying up straight away. You guys are lucky that Stroll is only using 1% of his power. Do not underestimate Stroll. He's gonna sort it out next. I'm sure of it. MCL leads the championship then, 83 points. F1 Mikey Boy 74. Danny then closing the gap in 58. Then Billy Mewes has 56. MCL doing very well this evening. He really is, and looking like he's going to take that win. Man, the timer just keeps resetting. We've got it. We have got it. Loading in now with 15 drivers for Brazil for a 5-lap race, ladies and gentlemen. Brazil then, one of the greats with what a circuit it is. What a circuit it is. The anti-clockwise layout. But this is going to be fun. This is going to be very, very fun then. With the drivers, about 15 then today. It is the penultimate round of tonight's mini-season. And everybody should pretty much ready up straight away for this then to get into this little race. Here we go then. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights ahead of the drivers then here in Brazil. 5 lights and it is lights out and away we go. We go racing again with JP on pole once more in towards the first corner then into the centre S's, and it is JP your leader. F1 Mikey Boy running into, and both racing bulls looking strong through the first few. Best knower in 4 then, Stroll in 4, best knower in 3, sorry. But the 2 racing bulls up at the front then, trying to fight at the minute behind that. There's some action going on here. It is side by side between the 2 McLaren drivers of VDM and Danny F31. Off the track there goes the other McLaren of VDM. Off the track for him. He's down in P16 now then on the first lap of the race, unfortunately, everybody. But he is out at this moment in time. JP always on pole, comms favouritism. JP then your leader and started on pole 2 races in a row. F1 Mikey Boy running in second place, and it could be a Racing Bull 1-2 finish today if it finishes in this order. The drivers head down then towards the main straight, and it is JP as your leader still. The second lap begins, and the fastest lap on your screen of JP now with 1:13.399, and the times start flicking in down the pack as you see them in towards the first corner, then the centre S's, and it is Shino trying to get ahead of Lance Stroll here, going around the outside of him. C Black with a 2-second penalty as the second penalty of the evening, as the gap has already picked themselves up one. And to the left hand of the 2 Aston Martins fighting it as Stroll against Scary here. Scary in P8 holding this position quite well. As at the back of the grid, I think we've just seen possibly something going on there. Some battles happening. It's off the track for C Black, unfortunately. who loses multiple places down at the back of the grid. Now off the track for JP and somebody else there too. JP then waiting on the side of the circuit as everybody, he just watches everybody pass him then. What has happened to JP here? Why is he sitting stationary on the circuit, everybody? He's going to be disqualified if he carries on like this. He's barely even moving. But JP now at the back of the grid, unfortunately, and losing a hell of a lot of places. Best Noah now in the race lead. Billy Mewis 2, Sidemen 3. MCL then will be 4. Up the inside line, both of them spin then, and it is the Racing Bull of Mikey. And I'm not entirely sure who that was. Was it MCL? It was, who got racing again. But these guys are going at it again, and Mikey trying to fight here with the Red Bull, ladies and gentlemen. Their drivers head down into the left-hand side, and JP leaves the session, unfortunately. Says, controller disconnected. GG's, that's me done. Thanks very much for joining, mate. It's been good fun tonight. Really good fun, and hopefully this happens again next week. I'd love to be involved because it is fun. But lap 3 of 5, going on to the 4th lap at the moment. Great comms as always, my friend. As always, thank you very much. Same goes for you, mate. Honestly, brilliant stuff that you provide for the network. Honestly, it is superb. But thank you very much. And if you're leaving, we'll see you later. But Billy Mewis then is your leader once we cross the line now for the 4th lap of the Grand Prix, and it is now Billy Mewis. Best Noah, who is gonna get into that lead. 1 minute 10.1 is his fastest lap at the minute. Danny now is going to improve on time as well. He goes to the fastest lap of the Grand Prix and takes it as the penultimate lap of the race. And it is Billy now fighting for the lead. Billy into the lead of the Grand Prix here in Brazil for the penultimate round of the season. F1 Mikey Boy has retired from the session. I was not expecting that. Don't really see that very often. Mikey's out of these 5 lap races, ladies and gents. As the gap then with a 2-second time penalty, and that is 4 drivers with penalties then on the grid at the moment. Billy Mewis is your leader, is the Alpine against the Williams. Best Noah with a 1 minute 10.1 fastest lap. A little bit behind Billy Mewis here, but not too much off then to make much of a difference. And we head up towards the line now to start the final lap of the Grand Prix, the one where it really matters. This is the penultimate race of 7 rounds that we have had, and the last round is Abu Dhabi. Here's a move for Best Noah. He now goes into the race lead. Best Noah 1, Billy Mewis 2. Danny closing in on Billy now in 3. He also has half battery. Billy has a little bit more. And Best Noah has not much at all. So he's at the biggest disadvantage out of the top 3 drivers right now. The final lap of the race then, ladies and gentlemen, is here. The gap has retired. Up the inside line goes the Alpine of Billy Mewis, and it has worked out for him now. He's just about gets in front of that Williams of Best Noah now, who drops down to P2. Danny in 3 in the McLaren, trying to make a pass up the inside line here. Breaks a bit later to allow himself through. Danny now into 2nd place. Best Noah's not giving this one up though. This is great racing in 5 lap races that we've got here today. And Danny needs to be included in WRC. He really does. He's a good driver. The sideman with a 2-second penalty, but Billy Mewis at the minute looking like he's going to go and win it today with a little bit more battery over Danny towards the line. Billy Mewis is going to win the first one of tonight for him. It is the penultimate round of tonight's season, and Billy Mewis wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Danny takes 2. Best Noah will take P3. Danny finishing 2nd place tonight then. Stroll finished 4, Scary 5, MCL 6, P7 is Sidemen, 8 is Chitty, it is 9, Souza, 10, VDM, 11, Shino, 12, Zazapi, and 13, C Black. Now on to the final race of this evening. We are an hour and 5 minutes into the stream. This Mikey boy is out of control. Race winner, Billy Mewis, fastest lap, goes to Stroll. Driver of the day goes to Scary. most overtakes MCL, and cleanest driver is Danny. F1 Mikey Boy says he has a league race after retire. GG's. Good stuff, mate. It has been very good. Tonight we have one little race left, 5-lapper of Abu Dhabi. Then I've got a little bit of a break, and then I am on for commentary of Extinguished Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're interested in that, join along for that stream, because that should be quite an exciting one. For that, we do qualifying, we do the 50% race, and then we usually do post-race interviews after that as well. So it should be quite a nice race and one to watch. So if you're interested, I'm sure they've got spaces as well. So if you want to race, there is more than enough space for you to get in tonight on the Wednesday race. So you'll have to let me know. Right, the final round of tonight's mini-season. It is Abu Dhabi to produce the final showdown. The two Alpines, 1 and 2, in the championship this evening. 91 points for MCL, 81 for Billy Mewis. This is it, the final round in Abu Dhabi. Danny's out of it really at the moment to win it, I believe. He could, but this is going to be fun for the final race. As we get into Abu Dhabi, an hour and 7 into the stream, probably going to finish about an hour and 15 minutes maybe into the stream. That's probably what we're looking at. So we've run a bit over than the hour we said, but at least we know now, if we were going to do an hour group of races, it would probably be 5 or 6, wouldn't it, instead of 7. Here we go then, the final round of the season. To round it all off here in Abu Dhabi, ladies and gentlemen, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And it's lights out and away we go. Stroll starts on pole, then Best Noah's going to try and take it up the inside into turn 1. He does make a move here and does get through, ladies and gentlemen. Noah is your leader. Stroll now into 2. Billy Mewis now into 2nd place. And he, loses the rears, and that is going to really work in the favour of MCL now, who's going to go through into P5. We're going to head down into the left-hand side here. Then Noah leads. It's Danny into P2. Chitty in 3rd as Stroll running in 4, and a big chunk of drivers behind that as well. MCL, Shino and Scary, and Billy Mewis as well is in the pack as we head down in towards the left-hand side with the drivers. And it's MCL up the inside line here. It is Stroll now trying to keep himself in front. The AI driver doing what he can. MCL into 3rd place and the favourite to win the World Championship tonight at this rate. 5-lap race as we have been doing. If you're just joining us, this is the 7th race we have done in the 5 lappers. Best Noah is your leader. Danny's 2. MCL is leading the championship on 91 points. His teammate Billy Mewis is on 81. If it ends like this, MCL will win the World Championship for tonight's 5 lappers. It has been brilliant. I do apologise about the Christmas race signage that we've still got around the track. I just haven't got rid of it all, but hopefully it's not too bothering to you. Lots of Jack Rusty comms signs on the track, but up towards the line then, and Noah is your race leader, ladies and gentlemen, in the Williams as we head through and start the second lap of the Grand Prix this evening. Danny sat in 2, then MCL sat in 3, then it's Stroll in 4, Scary 5, Billy Mewis in 6, and quite out of position here today. If he wants to win the championship, he's got a bit of work to do. In order to do that, Danny is 0.3 of a second off the race lead here then. Danny's won 2 races this evening, and is this going to be a third? Danny in the McLaren looking for the inside line of the Williams, and he has made that move stick. Danny into P1, Best Noah 2, MCL then will be 3, Stroll 4, Scary 5, Billy Mewis P6, Chitty 7, Shino in 8, and that is your grid for tonight as the racing continues up at the front. Noah wants this place back. He's now looking for the inside line. Not enough space. Stroll tries to get through as well. He isn't able to do that either. Into the final corner we go with the drivers. Lap 3 of 5, and Danny then in the McLaren is your leader. Best Noah is running P2. No time penalties on the grid at the minute then on the third lap of the race. MCL, of course, leading the championship on 91 points and looking like he's going to take it today. I'm not entirely sure if Danny can take it though. He wasn't far behind in the championship, and with a win today this could really work in his favour, but I'm not entirely sure, so I might not be able to announce the champion until we get to that final finishing page. But only lap 3 and 2 more to go after this one, 3 including this, and it is Danny still as your leader. Chitty and Sheena at the back in P7 and 8 then, as the Ferrari just about comes out in front of that and gets the first penalty of the day. 2 seconds awarded to him as here's the Mercedes then trying to fight back around the outside line then for this man as he gives it absolutely everything. Does the Mercedes. He does get ahead into P7 for a brief moment, but Chitty's going to try and get in front here. The Mercedes not letting him do so, and Shino just about in front. Here comes the Ferrari fighting back. No room for him, and that'll be the end of that race at the minute. Here we go then, everybody. Penultimate lap of the Grand Prix begins. As Billy Mewis retires from the session, and he will not win the championship now. He is done. It is either MCL or Danny to win the World Championship this evening, and I think it might be MCL at this rate. Danny will win this race, but I don't think he's got enough points in the bag there to actually win the championship. There's MCL now into P2, and Danny's championship chances are really coming down and crashing down as MCL just climbing the ladder. More points in the bag for him, making it harder for Danny to win now. I don't think he's even got a chance of doing that anymore. Danny 1.6 seconds ahead of MCL, who's now got Best Noah, doing his absolute best now round the outside line to get in front of MCL, who was once in P2, now in P3, as Best has managed to get in front of that Alpine once again, back to where he started, I believe. Yeah, back to where he started. Sheena off the track now, down in P7, trying to get back on here, fighting with Cheaty at the moment. As you can see, the Christmas race stuff on the walls there, and the PayPal signage needs to go too. And all down the straight there, it's full of it. But this is it then, everybody, the final lap of this 5-lap championship here in the World Racing Championship, a league that has grown massively over the past few months. And Ollie Southall WRC logos though, I mean, yeah, that is one thing that is relevant, to be fair. Here's a move then, Scary into 3. MCL drops down to 4th position. This is not what he wants then on the final lap of the race. The Aston Martin has made a move here on the Alpine. Here's MCL, going to be able to make a pass back through on this Aston Martin. He's going to look up the inside line for a move, and he's done it at the minute, but there is a few more straights to come where he might be at a bit of a disadvantage. Oh, scary. Sliding on the rears there helps MCL out. He might even be able to get into second place by the end of this race. Then Best Noah with no battery to help him in his chances here of second place. And it's MCL now in front. Best Noah 3, Scary 4, Stroll 5, Shino 6. Noah is going to make a move around the outside line. Absolutely brilliant for that Williams, who has been able to get back into third. Now all eyes to Danny in the McLaren, who's going to round off this race here in Abu Dhabi and round off this 7-race championship across the line for the McLaren, who wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But MCL and Best Noah towards the line, a photo finish. MCL claims third and becomes the world champion for this evening's 5-lap race championship. Absolutely brilliant for MCL. He is the world champion, I believe. Best Noah does claim second place at the end of that one, though, and takes it away from MCL. Here's your finishing order then, everybody, of the championship. MCL 1, Danny 2, Best Noah 3, Billy Mewis 4, 5 is Lance Stroll, 6 Scary, 7 Shitty, 8 Shino, and 9 Oliver Behrman. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you joining me for tonight for the fun 5-lap races. I am live next for Extinguished Motorsports in 30 minutes time. Do not miss it, because it is going to be fun. It will be live on the Jack Crossley Comms Twitch, so we will be getting on with that very, very soon. Hopefully you enjoy the action tonight. Have a good evening, and see you all later. Have a good night.